The crowd at the White House waited anxiously. Under the journalists' cameras and the attentive gazes of the military, a special guest walked down the red carpet. But he was not an ordinary hero. He had 4 legs, fierce eyes, and a past filled with battles that most humans would never face. His name was Conan, a Belgian Malinois trained for high-risk missions. He did not understand words like glory, medal, or president, but he felt the energy of the occasion. His instincts told him that this day was different. Beside him, Donald Trump smiled, ready to grant the most unusual honor of his presidency. The moment seemed solemn and dignified. But few knew that Conan's journey to that point had involved danger, blood, and even a photoshopped image that went viral around the world. Conan was not just any dog. He was part of an elite group of Belgian Malinois trained by the United States Special Forces for high-risk missions. From puppyhood, he underwent rigorous training, learning to detect explosives, chase down targets, respond to commands in the midst of combat, and even parachute alongside soldiers. For him, war was not a concept, it was his reality. His instincts were sharp, his reflexes precise. When a mission required discretion, speed, and courage, Conan was ready. His defining moment came in October 2019, when he was called to take part in one of the most important military operations of the decade, the hunt for Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the leader of the Islamic State. The most wanted man in the world was hiding in a fortress in northwestern Syria, surrounded by loyal fighters and protected by underground tunnels. Capturing him alive was nearly impossible, but eliminating him required a meticulous attack. And Conan would be a key piece in this risky plan. The operation began under the cover of night. Helicopters transported the soldiers to the site, and explosives cleared a path through enemy defenses. The goal was to reach Baghdadi before he could escape. That was when Conan came into action. With impressive agility, he charged through the narrow corridors of the hideout, tracking the terrorist as he tried to flee. No wall, no trap could stop this determined dog. He ran tirelessly, ignoring the sound of gunfire and explosions around him. When he finally reached Baghdadi, the leader of the Islamic State saw no other option but to run into a dead-end tunnel. Desperate, he took 3 of his children with him and, in the final moment, activated a suicide vest, triggering a devastating explosion. The blast injured Conan, who was struck by shrapnel and dust, but he survived. His mission was complete. He had forced the most dangerous man in the world to self-destruct. As the dust settled, Conan was carried in the arms of his comrades, who treated him like a true soldier wounded in combat. He had risked everything, never hesitating. The medical team treated his injuries, and soon he was back on his feet, ready to move on. But outside the battlefield, something unexpected was about to happen. Conan's name would not only be recorded in military history, it would become a global symbol. The success of the operation was quickly announced by the U.S. government. Donald Trump gave an official statement, describing the hunt for al-Baghdadi as a historic achievement. But among all the details of the mission, one name stood out: Conan, the war dog who chased the terrorists to the very end. For the first time, a 4-legged member of the Special Forces was publicly recognized for his crucial role in a high-profile operation. The internet wasted no time in turning Conan into a legend. Images of him circulated in news reports and on social media, and his story made headlines around the world. He was described as the most courageous dog in the American military, a true war hero. The public wanted to honor him, to learn more about him, to see him recognized for his bravery. And in this atmosphere, an unexpected event took everyone by surprise. A few days after the announcement of al-Baghdadi's death, Donald Trump shared an image on his social media that quickly went viral. In the photo, he appeared placing a medal around Conan's neck, smiling in approval. The scene seemed solemn, worthy of a true official recognition. But soon, people began to notice something strange. The photo was edited. The original image came from a 2017 event when Trump awarded the Medal of Honor to war veteran James McCloughan. Someone had replaced the veteran's head with Conan's, creating a fictional scene that had never actually happened. Within hours, the photo became an internet phenomenon. Some found it amusing, others criticized the falsification, and many wondered, why didn't Trump simply give a real tribute to the hero dog? The controversy quickly escalated. While some people praised the president's symbolic gesture, Others saw it as an example of Trump's tendency to manipulate images and narratives. After all, if Conan was a true hero, why did he need a fake medal? The White House attempted to downplay the issue, claiming that the edited photo was just a joke, but the debate had already grown into a major discussion. The dog that didn't belong to Trump was now directly linked to his name. Faced with the growing reaction, the government decided to act. In November 2019, Conan was officially brought to the White House for a tribute ceremony. The dog that Trump never owned, but had helped make famous, would finally step into the Oval Office. But what would happen that day still had another twist in store. The White House was packed with journalists, cameras, and staff members when Conan arrived. The dog who had chased down the world's most wanted terrorist was now walking down the red carpet, surrounded by curious gazes. But unlike other honorees who had passed through there, Conan didn't understand the grandeur of that moment. He didn't see the event as a historic ceremony. To him, it was just another day, and as always, he remained alert to any threats. Donald Trump entered the room alongside Vice President Mike Pence and a military team. The president seemed excited, pointing at Conan and calling him the best dog. But the moment was not exactly what many had expected. Unlike other events where soldiers received medals alongside the president, there was no grand protocol or formal decoration. Conan did not receive the Medal of Honor, as the edited photo had suggested. Instead, he was given a plaque and a custom medal in recognition of his service. Trump, who never had a dog in the White House and often said he was not a dog person, maintained a rather curious demeanor during the event. He addressed Conan as if speaking to a seasoned warrior but avoided touching him directly. Meanwhile, Mike Pence, more comfortable with dogs, petted Conan without hesitation. The scene sparked even more commentary, as many had expected to see Trump interacting more with the four-legged hero. During his speech, Trump emphasized that Conan was as smart as any human, and the best fighter he had ever seen. But no matter how grand the president's words were, the dog remained indifferent. To Conan, medals and tributes meant nothing. He did not fight for glory, nor did he chase a terrorist to receive recognition. He simply did his duty. After the ceremony, Conan was taken back to his base, away from the spotlight and politics. His mission that day was not to capture an enemy or detect explosives, it was simply to be photographed and applauded. But ironically, even without understanding or caring, he had become one of the most iconic dogs in American history. After the White House ceremony, Conan returned to his military base, far from the media and political discussions. While the world still debated the edited medal and the unusual encounter with Trump, he simply went back to being what he always was, a four-legged soldier ready to serve. For Conan, there was no fame or controversy, only loyalty to his training and his team. Even without belonging to Trump, Conan became the most iconic dog of his presidency. In an administration without mascots, he was the only dog to set foot in the Oval Office, not as a pet, but as a war hero. Unlike humans, Conan did not seek recognition. His legacy was not built on speeches or edited photos, but on his actions in the battlefield. Conan continued serving until his retirement, when he was likely adopted by one of his trainers. His name entered history not because of a photoshopped image, but because he fulfilled his duty with courage and determination. In the end, he never needed a medal to prove he was a true hero.